Hello and welcome. I'm Chaima, Content Strategist at LABASAD, and we are so happy to have you with us for today's masterclass with the renowned photographer Tanit Plana. And we have recently launched a new area focused on artificial intelligence, offering two master's programs, one in English and one in Spanish. That's why today we are joined by Tanit, who will explore the applications of AI in creative processes and how it enhances creativity rather than replacing it. Tanit is also a lecturer in the online Master's New Documentary Photography. And at the end of the session, we will have a Q&A. You can ask questions by turning on your camera and microphone or by typing them in the chat on the right. But before we begin, let's take a quick look at what makes LABASAD learning experience unique. At LABASAD, we are proud to be the only exclusively online design school that offers a 100% live format. This approach creates an immersive and interactive experience, making online learning as engaging as in-person classroom. To give you a clearer picture of our big impact, here are some key statistics about LABASAD. More than 94% of our students recommend LABASAD and our masters. More than 4,000 students have studied with us for now, and more than 250 instructors are all of them professionals actively working in their fields. And our global community includes students from more than 54 countries. LABASAD's reputation extends beyond our students. We have been featured in Creative Boom, also in NiceDad, and other leading design media. And these publications highlight our innovative approach and commitment to fostering creative talent. One of the things that set LABASAD apart is our dedication to supporting students beyond the classroom. Our programs offer opportunities for international recognition. For example, Vanessa Garcia, here in the picture, a student of the online Master in Strategic Packaging Design, received a global acclaim at the Pentawards 2024 in London, winning gold in food and silver in luxury goods. And what are the benefits of studying with us in LABASAD? First of all, our faculty consists of professionals from around the globe who bring real-world experience directly into the classroom. We also guide our students throughout their learning journey, ensuring they always feel connected and supported. And beyond the curriculum, students have access to different opportunities such as workshops, masterclasses like this one, group follow-up sessions, participation in awards, LABASAD Live, networking, and many, many more benefits. And if all the previous information I gave you about us resonated with you and you're considering taking the next step in your creative career, now it's the perfect timing. The application period for our master programs is now open, with classes starting in May 2025. And for more details, feel free to contact us at info@labasad.com. And we also very active in social media, where you can reach us, follow us to see student and instructor projects, as well as the latest LABASAD news and opportunities. And now it's my pleasure to introduce you Tanit Plana. Her work as a photographer explores themes like human reproduction, love, and digital interconnectivity, and has been showcased in major institutions such as the Anthony Tapias Foundation and many more important institutions around the globe. Now enjoy this masterclass very much, and it's over to you, Tanit.
I am really happy to introduce you to a couple of main subjects that I would love to share with you in terms of how I have adapted or how I integrated AI in my creative process, actually. So should I go? First of all, let me do like a general introduction to you. So it's hola, because I am from Barcelona. My name is Tanit, as you know. And one of the important things about my work is that I don't do things with my hands. As you can see here, I use my guts, and that is a very important aspect of my work, and as well as important in my life. And I use my guts a lot, as you can see. I am a woman with 3 children, and I think this is important in terms of knowing how a life is produced, not only work. In my creation, I assume that work and life are all the time together. I use my guts a lot, and I use technology. And that's what we are going to develop here. I was born in 1975. I am almost 50 now, and I started my photography in the analog support. I've been working a lot with large format photography, trying to follow an email. So I try always to mix different senses of what the format is and what the concept of what I'm talking. And I try to do some tension in it so that we can learn things and be able to think. So I love my guts. I use my guts. I love technology. I love people, and I love images. And that is important because those are the subjects of my work. I use my authorship, my projects, the speeches that I try to arrange as a political and ethical weapons. What does that mean, right? In terms of, I will start with my lens-based projects so that you can understand a little bit what my field of research is, what I am interested in, and what does that mean, the ethical and political? Because then when we get to the AI, that is very important. Working on lens-based photography, I love the power of it as a tool for radical togetherness. What does that mean? In a world where we are like exactly now, everybody behind a screen in our own little rooms, let's say, our houses, different places around the world, which is very powerful. But at the same time, we are somehow separated. So what I love about lens-based photography is the power that it has to bring us together in front of the lens, actually. So this radical togetherness for me is political, because in that time that we share together, we can get to influence each other, we get to learn from each other, and we get to love each other somehow. This exchange of information, this exchange of experiences, for me, it's very political. Is about love, as I was saying, love in terms of love understood as a wide sense of the word. The first project that I want to show you is Puber, and it was an exhibition in Barcelona that it was about portraying teenagers, sharing that space with young people that was coming in front of my camera. And so that was somehow a public, I like to understand this lens-based photography as a public space where we meet. As a mom of 3, as I was telling you, this is very important for me, to meet the other, to be able to listen to the other, and that makes a change on the days that we live. So as you can see, I am somehow a bit strict, because I love, nowadays I think I could only use or work in one single framing in the sense of like the subject centered in the frame and with a little light coming from the sides through a window, a background that it's chosen. And that repetition of the framing gives me the sense that we kind of lose the sense of the photography and we can concentrate on the subject. And that allows me to somehow explain you who is the other one. In this Puber experience that I got to shot, I don't know, maybe more than 200 teenagers, what was important for me was what was performing. The shooting was somehow a way to, in that case, this is Uli, and in that case, I asked them if I could take a picture. And since they was a minor, the family had to be in the shooting. And I was referring to them as he because he asked me to. And then while in the shooting with the family, I was referring to Uli as him and he all the time. And what I could see is that in their, especially in their father eyes and face, I was just seeing that that was the first time that he was listening and he was hearing a masculine pronoun referring to the person. And so photography, and not only the image that it's the output of the session, but what happens when we are in this togetherness of the lens-based image, for me it's really important because it also can perform some political, maybe you can think it's small changes, but in that case, for that family, that was a big statement that we performed all together. So that is for me really interesting. How can we use the way of how the device of photography can be a questioning system to what's displayed. The next project that I wanted to show you, lens-based again, was following an email behind the clouds. And you saw me before with a large format camera. I was following an email between in its trajectory between Barcelona and LA in Los Angeles. I wanted to understand how the infrastructure of the power was hidden behind the cloud. In that time, that was around 2016, 2017. Obviously, we were totally swimming in the technology and in the era of the internet, and we were using WhatsApp, email, and all that, but we didn't know how it worked. The single person, the citizen, the regular citizen, as I was, didn't know anything about it. So I tried to get in contact with the companies, the cable providers, the content providers, trying to understand this kind of a labyrinth of infrastructures. And I wanted to take pictures of them with a large format camera because it was a very heavy infrastructure that was behind that. So in a sense, again, the way of making art with it was a way of questioning and throwing questions to those everyday life that we don't pay attention to. So in a way, it was again very the use of photography or the use of narrative or the projects was about a politics statement. In here, you can see different structures like air conditioning, generators, and fiber testers under the sea. So a lot of machines and a lot of really, really expensive infrastructure that I didn't know it was involved in the email sending or the WhatsApp sending at that time. At the same time, I understood and I discovered that the infrastructure of the internet at the time, which is the AI infrastructure that it's going nowadays, it was a very, very human infrastructure. This guy, I found him in the beach where the cable in País Vasco, where one of the important cables crossing to the States was displayed. And I was seeing this guy working there alone, like going inside the water and then coming out again, taking one piece of iron out of this box and then going to the water again. And I was asking him, what are you doing? Are you involved with the cable display? And he told me that he was covering the cable, the actual cable of the connection, with a structure of iron, and he was kind of putting it inside the water and just putting it a little bit under the sand. That was really shocking, because it gives me a dimension. No, it gave me a dimension, a very surprising for me, because at the same time, you know, the velocity and how the internet and the infrastructure especially has changed at that time, had changed our ways of, I don't know, working, our ways of relating to each other, our ways of learning, our ways of consuming. And everything got a speed, like a high speed velocity and a multiplication of possibilities. And you think about an extremely high-end technology, which it is, but at the same time, this very human dimension was something that for me was a way of waking and understanding that all that had implications in the planet and in the economies. And that was really, really interesting. Creativity for me is a need. I don't know how do you relate with creativity and how do you relate with authorship, but for me it's a need, and that need creates a voice. I need to see clear, I need to speak loud, and I need to fight what I think it's I need to fight for justice, for social justice. The last project I want to show you in lens-based methodology is called Stress Position. It's a working process, and it's a work that I've been doing with guys that came from Morocco to Spain through the Mediterranean. They were crossing when they were minors, and the pressure of the state and the pressure and the indisposability of the state in terms of allowing these people to have a dignity, dignified life, is just taking them into the labyrinth that sometimes they end up in jail out of no other possibilities for living in dignity. So working with them for a long time, we were speaking about the global system and the brutalization of their bodies. So we ended up doing a series of work that it's called Stress Position, and they were showing me, and they were reenacting the positions in different transport vehicles that they had to perform for so many hours without not knowing what was going to be the output of everything. And that was a very tough and very subtle work, but at the same time, it was, again, as I was telling you, a way to fight, a way to see clear, a way to speak loud together with them. So in 2023, I met with Boltron. Boltron, I don't know if you are familiar with his work, but he is an AI artist, and he was introducing a couple of different authors into AI. And the first, now maybe 2023 doesn't look very like the old times or a long time ago, but since that moment that I discovered AI until now, a lot has changed and a lot has evolved. And that, I mean, if we understood that internet was speeding up our lives, the arrival of the AI has just like exploded everything. And the same tool, it's evolving in a velocity that it's totally inconceivable. So the first thing that I said, it's I throw my camera away. That was a reaction because at the very beginning, I understood that AI was not for my understanding of creation and creativity. AI allowed me to work with another field politically again, but not something that I can do lens based, but it allowed me to work in concepts, with concepts, trying to understand and to represent and to recreate some stories and some ideas that we share, but we never get to produce with a camera, because maybe it's very difficult. So this synthetic methods was really, really an exciting adventure that I really, really got into it. The first thing that I wanted to do was reading poetry to a machine, or to the machine. It was, nowadays, maybe it's not that common, but at the beginning, there was prompting. So everybody that was trying to resolve images with a synthetic methodology, we were prompting. I don't know how familiar are you with it, but prompting is the art of talking to the machine to actually ask what you want, or just order what you want. There's a relationship that it's, in common sense, you would say it's a master and slave relationship, but I don't understand it as that, and I'm gonna tell you about that. So reading poetry to a machine was a very, very challenging thing to me, because if you know how AI works, it's based on the resolution that it gives you when you ask any image. It's based on the mean response of the tones and millions of images that have been uploaded and tagged. So the knowledge of the AI, it's based on actual data that it's loaded, tagged. And so out of that data, it resolves with the mean response of what you are asking. So reading poetry is a way of trying to work with metaphors and trying to go out of the bias of the data amount that it's loaded and tagged. The City Hall of Barcelona asked me to do the graphic image of the Poetry Festival in 2023. So what I suggested was to what I suggested and what I did was to read actually the poems of the people that was going to be in the festival. So one of the things that was really important to me was that actually the poem had to be written in the image, and then the prompt and some of the signs that were used for resolving the image. In that sense, the images that we got were like very, they were biased or contra-biased. I mean, if you understand, one of the things that I really enjoy about AI and working with AI is that you can actually use the same AI to talk about or to go against the own machine, the same machine. What does that mean? It means that, for instance, if we feel, because if you have tried for a while to resolve some images by prompting, you see that if you put, for instance, if you write, give me a family or show me a family, probably it will show you a white, heteropatriarchal family, very normative family. And so feeling that bias and getting, because it's the mean response to the data that has been loaded. So actually I was trying with this project of the City Hall of Barcelona, what I was trying to do was to go against the mean response, to being able through poetry, actually choosing some of the poems were more against the heteronormativity and all the normalized bodies and races and all that, I was trying to work against that really, really hard. So I tried to counter prompt. And I think that is really interesting, how you can actually work against the system or against the machine. That was another of the pieces that was showed all around Barcelona, and that was the most powerful, because when you I mean, it was an image of a black lesbians vintage image, and for me that was very, very powerful, how to actually take the machine to some places that it doesn't normally go. Another of the things that from minute one I wanted to work around was masculinity. No, you can, when you work with lens-based photography, of course you have to address like physical subjects, but what if you want to talk about the social contract of masculinity? It has a lot of humor, this construction, because it's referring to other social contracts. But with AI, what is really, really strong for my feelings and how I feel it's a powerful tool and weapon, as I was saying, is that it allows you to articulate aesthetics, it allows you to articulate politics, and it allows you to articulate humor with it. It's very important. I'm gonna be talking about how you have to work with the references that you have and all the language that you have. So it's not just a way of the way to approach it. As if you because as you have seen, I don't approach at it as a mock-up. The outputs that I got, I like to refer them as proper artwork. It's not, for me, there is not like a secondary language. This is like actually a powerful tool for me to state what I'm thinking about, or to provoke some questions or some laughs or some of everything. So in here, I was working with this idea of the social contract of masculinity, and I've been really interested in this idea of the sausage. It came at the beginning. This sausage thing came out because I was trying to portray some military people, actually guys, that had guns, but that they were not erected or hard guns, and it didn't give me the soft guns. So I ended up doing military guys with a sausage, and that evolved into this social contract of masculinity, that are different types of middle-aged business guys at offices, like bored or tired and working around or dealing or living between sausages. This idea of this universe that is created is something that, of course, I could do with photography, but at the same time, I feel that this fiction, that it's a very actually a real fiction, or a fiction that talks about facts for my experience, well, the AI use allows me to go like really far in the production of those images. To do that, you need to, or at least how I do it, I try to upload my own models that I train with my own images, some references that I can take out of the street with my phone, and also with my older work that was shot with lens-based devices. And then I mixed it with with the prompting. In the prompting, I try to be very, very specific on how photographically I would approach to that image creation. If you can see, there is a flash in here, all the colors and the reflections and everything, all the colors, how are they treated, all that is something that comes from my lens-based knowledge, and that I put it in here mixed with other images that I do on my regular daily life, going up and down in Barcelona and taking with my phone. So in terms of evolution of the language, the training of the models, I don't know how familiar are you with that, but there are some platforms that you can train your own model. That means that you can somehow make your own language based on different images that you put on that model. You can then set your own language to approach different subjects. In here you have more social contract of masculinity. I also have the funeral of masculinity, that it's also based on sausages. The idea of the mean response or the mean images, I already told you, and it is about this middle answer, the mean answer of all the tags that it has. But since you are prompting and you are asking variations on the same prompt, you allow the machine to be moving around different mean responses that it can give you. This funcionarias is the last work that I'm doing, and it's like a huge wall that I am somehow creating. And it is important to me because I want to just to get to the end of this presentation. I think that it's important to state that I don't think I am totally fearless about AI. I mean, AI is a powerful tool, like the most powerful tool I've ever seen. It's evolving in a speed that it's inconceivable. I mean, every week there are like extremely huge progresses in the tools, in the reality of the output, and the feelings, the textures, the possibilities, and everything. It's like changing so fast. But the thing is that it is a tool. What is dangerous or could be somehow scary is what is behind the machine. Humans tend to use technology in really weird, dangerous ways, but also I think that there is a possibility of making some changes, maybe small changes, but also that you can adjust and make a better world as well using technology in a critical way. So for me, it's not about a master and slave relationship, but just to think that the machine and it's like a collaborator. I mean, what it gives you could not be resolved any other way, as easy and as fast and as creatively as this new collaborator. I tend to, I don't know if you've been prompting like a lot yet or not, but I assure you that it's really fun. It's extremely exciting, and it takes your art to a next level so quickly and in a fantastic ways that you couldn't even imagine. That this this association, this cooperation between you, your ideas, and the resolutions that the machine is proposing you, it's just fantastic. I am absolutely, I mean, this first intuition that I had, like I'm gonna throw my camera away, I'm totally into it, because this Funcionarias project, for instance, it's about the civil servants. To say in Spain we say funcionarios, it's civil servant, and I am interested in exploring how a person, no, a civil servant is a person that is representing the state and is representing individuality, no, in their work, on their professional life. They are the state, and they imperson the state, and at the same time they are subjects that are under that state or in that state. So I was really interested in somehow exploring the ideas of the bodies in the offices, the bureaucracy, the accident, and it allows me, I mean, as I was telling before, it allows me to resolve some images that are extremely amazing, and I'm not sure I could produce them. I mean, I would probably need a lot of work and not a lot of work because I do a lot of work. I meant a lot of money to produce them. And I am interested in how, do you know the artifact? In AI, the artifact is called when there is some mistake in the reproduction of reality. So if you can see, the faces are not perfect, and sometimes the flesh of the bodies is a bit like weird. That is called the artifact in AI creation, in AI language. And I am really interested in the artifact, actually. I'm not interested in showing images that are like especially perfect. But since I am using it in a political way, I need the bodies to be somehow weird, and somehow this uncanny valley the artifact is giving me is just perfect. And I can invent artifacts, and I can invent some devices. For instance, in here you have my disfuncionarias that are the ones that are in charge of training the horses of the police state. So I can have horses in the offices. I can have them do like amazing things. And still, what I'm doing here, on top of being really, really aesthetic, I am also working on the idea of the politic, right? This is, for me, the powerful thing of AI, that it's still a voice that I can use to make questions. Sometimes with working with AI, and I've been doing a lot of workshops on AI, and I am teaching here at LABASAD some AI courses, and I think it's very important. I mean, the necessity of your own voice, creativity voice, and that you know what you are talking about or what you want to ask in terms of using your own artwork is very important, because AI is so powerful and the tool is just overflowing all the time, and it's giving you so many chances and possibilities that as an author there is a responsibility to know and to work a lot on your thinking and in your statements, so that AI can serve you and you can co-work with it to create the walls that you want to put in galleries, in museums, or in publications. And just to finish, the amphibians, I'm going to go quick in that. The amphibians is one of the sub-chapters of disfuncionarias, and these disfuncionarias are the ones that are working in the province. They have a laboratory for research in the snows and also in the seasides. I can make up like laboratories. I work a lot with fashion as well. And they are trying to investigate new forms of love and other kins. So it's like a transspecies laboratory to understand other forms and new forms of life. And as you can see here, I can make up like different tools, this lab next to the sea, I really, really love. And there's still disfuncionarias, so you can build up your own language, as I was telling you, training your own model, and then you can take it to the next level every time, just with these ideas that you want to explore with it. So I'm going to show you the last images here, and then we will open for questions about any aspect of what you could be interested in. All the images that you are seeing are direct output from the platform. I mean, I could manipulate them afterwards, but I'm not interested in that. I really like what is the output. So I had to, in terms of, if you're working with graphic design, or if you work with photography, or whatever the field that you are exploring, AI, it's really interesting because it's forcing you to decide and to be conscious about all the decisions that you ask and everything, all the details on colors, all the details on textures, all the details on the light, on the lenses. So I guess that it makes you more conscious about your creation, and it serves your purpose, but at the same time, it gives you outputs that you would never imagine. So it's just an amazing and exciting collaboration. And that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tanit, for this incredible masterclass. I hope everyone enjoyed it as I did myself. And I think that's all for today. I hope this session has been inspiring and valuable for your creative journey. And we recorded this session, so it will be uploaded very soon. And just a quick reminder that the applications for our masters are starting in May 2025. And if you're looking to take your career, this is your place. And if you have any questions or need more information, just feel free to contact us at info@labasad.com. And thank you again, and see you next time.
Thank you so much.